Good day. I want to start with this quotation by Thomas Paine, one of the founding fathers of America. He says, "Every religion is good that teaches men to be good." What he means by that is, although he wasn't a religious man, he wasn't a Christian. In fact, most of the founding fathers weren't Christians. That is a myth. But if in being religious, if in being a Christian it makes you a better person, then great. And I go along with that. I agree with that. But if there's one thing that really drives me nuts, it's born-again Christians. You know, I'm not for abortion. I don't like it. But I'd make an exception for born-again Christians. These people just drive me nuts. Here you've got people that have spent their lives fornicating and gambling and swearing and wanking and doing all the things that they're not supposed to do. They get hit by this burst of divine perspiration and then think that it is incumbent upon them to convert the rest of the world in 10 minutes. Now there are two interesting statements that have some relevance here. First of all, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing, and you find with most born-again Christians, they haven't got the depth of knowledge that they need to defend their subject. And secondly, it doesn't matter how much you know about a subject, whenever you try to explain it to someone so that they understand it in 10 minutes, you will always sound like a complete nutcase. And that is true also of these people when they try to argue and defend their points, because they haven't got the depth of knowledge, because they haven't got the full understanding. They've got the indoctrination, they've got the brainwashing and the programming. The shutters are up, the ears are closed, the eyes are closed. They're in defense mode, but they can't debate. Their only defense mechanism is to lose their temper, abuse you, and then to block you. Now that doesn't do them any good. It doesn't allow for their development, for their learning. So why they do it is simply because they are unable to debate. We are all one big family is a classic example. This guy's got hundreds of videos, and most of them are pretty good. You know, I agree with the sentiment behind them. I agree with what he says about Jesuits and about the papacy and the Illuminati and the way the world is going. But you know, what you find with born-again Christians is they think that they found this crutch on which to lean, this salvation. They found Jesus Christ, and if you don't agree with what they found, if you don't think that's right, you think there's another explanation for it, you are the worst demon worshipper, Freemasonic Luciferian that there is. And they just stop talking to you and just cut you off completely. And I've known born-again Christians do this to their families, by the way. This is how it gets them. Once they're in the grip of the church, there's no letting go. And of course, the people that wrote this text wrote in a very good insurance policy for the future by saying that people like me and others will come along and try to steer you away from the real meaning of the Bible, and you're to avoid us at all costs, and that we're Satanists and so on. Well, of course they would say that, wouldn't they? But of course, you know, we're not Satanists, we're not Luciferians, we're not nutcases. We simply have seen the real meaning behind this divine text. The Bible is a great book. You know, if it, like Thomas Paine says, if it makes you good, it makes you a better person, great. But it is an astronomical, astrological, astrotheological text. It is talking about the movement of the heavens and the relationship between stars and planets, particularly the sun and the moon and the earth, and of course Venus. Let's talk about Venus. Now, we are all one big family. He made this statement, this comment about Michael Tsarian is a well-known Luciferian. So I sent a comment back saying, what do you mean he's well-known as a Luciferian? By whom? Where is he well-known as a Luciferian? Because you can't make these ridiculous statements. What do you mean he's well-known? and he's a Luciferian, or he's well known as being a Luciferian. Now, if it's the second one, which I think it is, I think that's what you mean, then by whom is he known as a Luciferian? What? Has he actually said it? Has he actually been proved to be one? Or are you just listening to internet gossip as usual? Let's be clear, he may well be a New Ager, he may well be lots of things, but a Luciferian is not one of them. Let's talk about what or who Lucifer is. I'll say who for your benefit, but it's a what. Lucifer is the planet Venus. It's the light bringer, the light giver. Lucy's light. And it may well have a spirit entity attached to it, but the real meaning of light bringer or light bearer in the northern hemisphere, if you get up nice and early in the morning in the winter months, you will see the planet Venus. It is stunningly bright in the early morning sky, high up in the sky, and as it appears to rise, the sun rises below it over the horizon, and it appears as though Venus is actually pulling the sun up. It's dragging the sun up over the horizon. That's why it's referred to as the light bearer. It's bearing the sun to the world. The light is the sun. And that's what the ancient people thought, that first of all you see Venus, and then as Venus appears to rise upwards in the sky, you see the sun follow it. And it looks as though Venus has a rope on it and is pulling it up. And that's all Lucifer is. It is the planet Venus. It's as simple as that. It isn't a demon. It isn't the devil. It isn't another word for the devil. That's not that particular description. It's not written anywhere. And in fact, the word Lucifer is only written a couple of times in the entire Bible. Look, guys, get a grip. This is the problem, you see. They stumble into this information. It's like you're walking down the street and you see $1 million note. You pick it up and run, and you're jumping for joy. This is what these born-again Christians have got. They think that they found this $1 million bill in the street, and they're running and jumping for joy and punching everybody out of their way. Look, calm down, slow down. Don't block people, because it doesn't help you learn. It doesn't help you develop. It doesn't help anyone develop. Because what you're doing is you're covering your eyes and ears and saying, I'm going to put my head under the pillow and you can go away. I'm not listening to you. Why don't you want to listen to anybody? Why don't born-again Christians, why don't they like debating? Gorilla199 is another one, a classic example. The second that you comment on his video and it's a negative comment, questioning anything in his video, he blocks you. How is that moving forward? Because you end up with videos that are littered with your friends' comments. Oh, you're great, Gorilla199. Oh, I agree, we are all one big family. Oh, I agree. Oh, you're so wonderful. Jesus is our Saviour. I mean, this is, you're just about to disappear up your own arsehole if you're not very careful. If you really believe that Jesus was a man, then stand and debate. Debate the points. This chap, we are all one big family. He says, oh, I contacted Santo Bonacci on Facebook, and as soon as he denied that Christ was a man, I cut all contact with him. Well, look, this is covering your eyes and ears and running for the hills. Well, why would you run away from him? Say, well, actually, Santo, I don't agree with what you're saying, and here's why. And get this to-ing and fro-ing, going backwards and forwards. That way you will learn, undoubtedly, and learn to look at things differently. And you never know, Santo may actually adjust some of his thinking. He's an open-minded guy. How do you think he's learnt what he's learnt? You don't learn what he's learnt from being closed-minded. Remember, he started off as a Jehovah's Witness. You can't get any more extreme than that. And to flip from that and do 180 and point entirely in the opposite direction and start talking about Jesus being the Son, you don't do that overnight. This takes study. And this is what born-again Christians don't study. Yeah, they get the Bible and that's it. They don't even know if it's the right Bible. I mean, they start talking about, oh, it's the King James Bible is the only one to believe. No, look, the Bible has been converted that many times, it's completely unreadable now. And look, they say, well, you know, I don't follow the Bible, I just have Jesus as my Saviour, you know, or I don't follow any religion, I don't go to church, I just have Jesus as my Saviour. I mean, they don't even look at what Jesus means, or Christos means, you know, and they won't watch Santo Bonacci or anybody else. They don't look at these chaps and think, well, let's listen to what they've got to say, and, you know, I'll look at the text again. You know, and you may come away thinking, well, actually, I think Santo Bonacci is talking rubbish, but, you know, I'll look at the text, and that way we all develop and we all move forward, because I'm going to tell you guys, there is no two ways about it. The Bible is a wonderful book, but it's got everybody looking in the wrong direction. That's the best way to describe it. All its followers are looking in the wrong direction, and when you're looking in the wrong direction, crossing the road, you're about to get hit by a truck. That's the way to look at the Bible. It's true, it contains a lot of fantastic truth if you're looking in the right direction at it. If you're looking in the wrong direction at it, in the way that they intended it to be seen, so that it fools you, then you're going to be run over by truth. So that's what I think about born again Christians. Don't they just drive you nuts?